Dear students, welcome to Mayura Virtual Academy. In this session, we'll be learning how to navigate between the activities. In the previous session, we have learnt about what is intent and intent filters. So we'll be using an intent objects to navigate between the activities. Since we know the activity names are the component names, we'll be using explicit intents. So suppose I'm in activity A and I want to navigate to activity B and some operation, say and click a button. And along with the navigation, I also need to transfer some data such as name from activity A to activity B. In such scenario, how do we perform the operation? So we create an intent object, and to that intent object we'll be passing the component name, which we know that is from activity A I need to navigate to activity B. So we'll be mentioning the parameters of activity B, and since we need to send the data to the activity B, we'll be using the putExtras method using key value pair. In this case, we are using the key as a name. This should be a constant, and what data that we need to send. I need to send name, which is a string. I'm passing it as Srinivas. Once this is done, we'll be starting an activity and passing the parameter as an intent. So the activity B will be launched. In the activity B, onCreate method will be getting the bundle object. Through that bundle object, we can retrieve the data using getExtras method using the key called name. The other scenario is I'm in one activity, say main activity, and I need to navigate to the second activity. In the second activity, I perform some operations and I need to send back the data to the main activity. How do we perform? How do we can achieve this? So here is a simple example for this. So I'm in the main activity. I perform some operations and I click on button. So from here I need to navigate to main activity. So whenever the button is clicked, it will be calling onClick method. Here we create new intent object and we need to mention from where it should navigate to where. So in our case, it should navigate from main activity to second activity class. Once this is done, we'll be calling start activity for result method. Since we need to get back the data from second activity to main activity, we'll be calling second start activity for result. It will be taking the two parameters, one is intent, other one is request code. Request code should be a constant. We can use it as any constant, but here we have used it as 2. Once this is called, start activity for result is called, the second activity will be launched, where we can perform whatever the operation that we need. In our situation, we have given two views to the user, that is edit text and button. User can fill any data into the edit text, and whenever the user clicks on the button, it will be calling onClick method, where we are getting the text whatever the user has given using that edit text, and we'll be getting the text, we'll be converting that to string. From here we need to navigate back to the activities. So for that situation, we are creating the new intent object, and for that intent object we are putting we need to send the data from second activity to the main activity. So we are using intent.putExtra. Use the key and value pair. In this case, our the key is message and the data that we are passing is message string that we have retrieved. And once this is done, we'll be using setResult method. SetResult method takes two parameters. First one is the result code. Second one is intent data that we need to pass. The result code should be the unique. It should be a constant. In our case, we have used it as 2, but you can use anything. And the data is intent. Once this is done, we can finish because we need to close this activity and navigate back to the main activity. So we are calling the method called finish, so that second activity will be closed. Since we are calling setResult method, in the main activity it will be invoking onActivity result method. In onActivity result method, before we get back the data, we need to check for two things. One is request code and other one is result code. The request code should match with whatever the request code that we have sent in start activity for result method, and the result code should match with whatever the constant that we have passed from setResult method. So when these two are okay, in a sense it matches, we can get back the data that has been sent from second activity in the main activity using the intent, that is present in an activity result method. Through that intent object we can get string or integer or boolean or any other primitive data types. In our case we are sending the string, that is message, so we can get back the string data.getString extras with a key value that is message. Once we retrieve the data, either we can show it to the user or we can perform any other operations. In this case we are displaying it to the user using text view. As the text we get the message and we'll be displaying it to the user. This is how we can get back the data from second activity to the main activity, that is back getting the data from in the backward direction. So in this session we have learned how to send data from in the forward direction, that is from activity A to activity B, and other scenario also how to get back the data from activity B to activity A. Now let us execute this through the simple program. Thank you. Have a great day.